When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
Dr. Raj.
Dr. Raj Dasgupta.
The most interesting pulmonologist in the world.
Welcome to the Dr. Raj Podcast, a show all about empowering knowledge, addressing difficult topics, raising awareness, and being positive. Dr. Raj is a quadruple board-certified physician, associate professor of clinical medicine, and the associate program director of internal medicine residency. He was a co-host on the TNT series Chasing the Cure with Ann Curry, as well as a regular on the TV show The Doctors. And now, here's our show.
Hi, and welcome to the Dr. Raj Podcast. And what is this a podcast of? A podcast of happiness and wellness, of amazing stories, of great people. And you know what? Today's guest kind of exemplifies everything I just said. So let me go to a little bio action so we can get into this really, really cool story. Her name is Laura Orrico, and she is a multi-talented film and TV actress and entrepreneur with her own PR firm titled Laura Orrico Public Relations. She has appeared as a guest star on popular shows. I gotta name a couple like Kevin Can't Wait, The King of Queens, CSI Miami, and as a regular on shows like Frank TV on TBS. She has been prominently featured in publications like Vanity Fair, Deadline Hollywood, USA Today, and Forbes and Star Central. Laura's journey began at a young age when her mom was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and recently she got diagnosed with Parkinson's, followed by the sudden passing of her dad. She pursued a thriving acting career alongside her husband, Ryan Cosgrove, who worked in the industry until life took an unexpected turn when he was diagnosed with, God forbid, a brain tumor and passed away. Laura and her late husband had a conversation about what would happen if he passed away before they were able to have kids. And Ryan gave Laura his explicit permission to use his sperm after he died to carry on his legacy. So Laura began going to appointments back in fall of 2024, started on some meds necessary to do some IVF. And she started this in April 2025. And finally, on May 28th, she had the procedure. And you know what? On June 9th, she had a positive pregnancy test, which is so awesome. Laura's resilience and dedication to her family never wavered even a second. She continues to make an impact in the entertainment industry and beyond. And here to talk about this amazing journey is Laura. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for this lovely introduction. My goodness.
Dude, I had a homework assignment last night because your PR firm gave me this much. I'm piece it together in the most wonderful cliff notes to give you the introduction. I'm glad you liked it.
Oh, thank you.
So, you know what? I kind of chatted with you a little bit before I hit the start button to record, and I really want to focus on you just being an awesome caregiver. And, everything we said, what happened, your mom gets a double whammy with MS and Parkinson's, your dad passing away being young, your husband. So my question is going to be talking about how do all these life experiences kind of influence the way you approach caregiving? Being the daughter and then being the wife. I mean, can you start the conversation with that?
Absolutely. I approach caregiving in two, what I think are the most important ways. And one of them is time spent with your loved one. You're getting valuable time, whether they have a serious disease, a long-term disease, or a terminal disease. That time and that quality time, even though you're going through some rough spots with, treatments and illness and caregiving, is so important. And some people regret later, if they lose a family member, that they didn't do that they weren't there. Now, let me just caveat that with, it's not always possible. Sometimes it's beyond what we can do at home. So, and that's okay. But the other thing I think is so important is knowledge. You really should learn everything and anything that you can as a family member, as a caregiver, about the disease that your loved one was diagnosed with, and be able to communicate with the patient, the doctors. In my opinion, that took a load off my husband, takes a load off my mom, because I can have all those tools in my pocket and be able to hold a conversation with the medical teams.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to focus on your husband real quick. He had a brain tumor. Now I'm going to get all dorky medical. Do you know what type of brain tumor did he have? Did he have glioblastoma?
Yes. Well, it started out as astrocytoma grade 2. So an anaplastic astrocytoma grade 2, which eventually, 2 different hospitals. We were with St. Joe's in Burbank, California, and Cedars-Sinai in LA. And they were between what they were seeing on the slides, whether it was a grade 2 or 3, but the rate in which it was growing, it appeared really it was a grade 2, which I was happy to hear, because the slower growing, the easier to treat, even though the location can be the same in 10 different patients and you could still have a different outcome.
Yeah.
But it was in his right temporal lobe. And throughout the years, then we exhausted through 8 years, 9 treatments, because 9 recurrences, I should say, with all sorts of different treatments, 2 9-month clinical remissions, which means it's not growing, but it's still there.
Yeah.
And then the eventual got to the point where we couldn't do any more surgeries. He had only done 1 surgery at the beginning, which was a biopsy, and the second one, which was the brain tumor resection, where they removed what they could without getting into important parts of the brain and arteries and things like that.
Yeah.
So, but we do think it eventually turned into a GBM, a glioblastoma, which is the grade 4 towards the end. There was just no way of knowing at this point. He was so sick. We exhausted every treatment. Yeah. And what a devastating disease.
So my wife, her name's Michelle. She's the greatest wife rheumatologist in the whole world. Her dad, which was kind of like a role model to me. When we had our last kid, her name's Sadie. She's 5 right now. I would say 3-4 months before Sadie was born, her dad was diagnosed with glioblastoma, and he only survived about a year and a half. And we were in the trenches, so I know GBM really well. And my question to you, once again, is how did your husband know he had it? For Michelle's dad, he had a seizure, and that's when it actually first came to getting imaging and getting the diagnosis. How did your hubby, how did he present?
Yeah, we didn't know at the time. I suspected something was wrong, but he kept getting migraines, increasingly worse and closer together for a year and a half leading up to it, and took him to the ER. They told him to get an MRI. He didn't want to do the MRI. In fact, please do the MRI. No, I'm fine. Migraines run in my family. So I'm like, okay. And all the stress and driving in LA, traffic and all that. I'm like, okay, I guess it makes sense. He's on a computer all day. He's really stressed out. But then one night we were watching Young Frankenstein. Ryan laughed
the Mel Brooks movie, Frankenstein.
He laughed about it, so we can laugh too. We were sitting there watching it, and the last thing he remembers is I think we went to bed around the time with the brain in the jar part. And
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Went to bed. And I heard grumbling. We had just turned the lights out, went upstairs. I heard grumbling, and I turned on the light. And I said, Ryan, are you okay? Ryan, are you okay? And I looked over, eyes rolled back. He falls asleep quick. I don't.
Yeah.
So I flipped him over. I did everything you see on TV that's wrong. I stuck my finger down in his mouth to hold his tongue down, thinking you could swallow your tongue, which is a myth. And I had 911 on the other end, and it was a long grand mal seizure.
Shit.
I didn't know what was going on, but I will tell you, on the outside looking in, that is one of the most terrifying, traumatic things. Dude, I couldn't watch scary movies for 5-6 years.
So let me just share. You mean I'm going a little off script here. So Michelle's dad, who's a cardiologist, he was actually in his office in between patients and his staff heard a thump. And that's what seizures do. You have no body control. You just fall. He fell so hard to the ground. He broke his shoulder and that led to everything. But from a med student standpoint, I always tell my medical students, one of the first things I'll just kick your butt into reality that you could never expect is the first time you see someone having a seizure. It's just, I don't care what books you read. It's nerve wracking. It's horrible. You think it's the end. And so my heart goes out to you that you were right there. You're seeing this. It's your loved one. And wow. See, Laura, we got so many horrible things in life in common. It's
right?
crazy. Yeah.
It's terrible. And then when they go in that post-ictal phase, that was what scared the you-know-what out of me. Because
of course.
I thought, he's gone and I'm waiting for them to get here. But that's like the quiet phase where it's post-seizure. I'm just saying this for the people listening. I mean, I thought he wasn't breathing. It's such a low breathing. I forget what they call that, but it was awful, awful. And then
so what was the total time frame that he was with us on this planet after the diagnosis? How many years?
It was just under 8 years.
Oh, God bless him and you that you got some time with him. And when was the years getting really shitty? When was it tough? When was the bad time?
Yeah. It got really bad the last year and a half. We had moved home from LA to be near family.
Okay.
And,
cool.
From the time he was diagnosed, which was that night, like 10 a.m., we spent a night in a Sherman Oaks hospital, which they couldn't diagnose a paper cut. So we took sorry, Sherman Oaks. They were great otherwise, but they kept us sitting around and nothing was happening and nobody knew what it was, even though they did an MRI. So we had him transferred to St. Joe's and where we had a much better time. But he was, I would say that year and a half, we moved back from California and he just started to decline. We moved back because I was pregnant and he got a job here and it was very slow in LA. So he got a job as a graphic designer on a TV show here.
Yeah.
So we're like, perfect. I'm pregnant. We'll take it. Started packing, came back from one of our, we did 2 times back and forth to bring stuff in one big move. And I miscarried. And then within 5 months of moving back, he started having seizures again, which he hadn't had in years. Yeah. And that was signatory of something's growing again. And
And as we get closer to the end, so the way, my father-in-law passed away and the way my dad passed away was all about hospice. And I just love hospice more than anything in the whole world. When was your husband in hospice at a certain point? And at the end part of it, I could tell you that even though we called a brain tumor, you're so tired and fatigued, you can't even walk and move. How was it at the end? When with him, was it more mental? Was it physical and mental? How was it?
Yeah, it was getting to be both. So one day I got a call from his work, from the studio. They said, Ryan's kind of walking in a curved line when he's walking around. And they saw him walking to craft service to get for lunch. And I said, oh boy, okay. I said, I'll be over there. And I went over there and he was starting to decline cognitively.
Yeah.
First, and then
is he forgetting just recent things, or is he just forgetting things in general?
He was forgetting things. Okay. I looked back in retrospect, and we were packing for the move in July of 2013.
Yeah,
he was forgetting things a little bit, and by the time I picked him up from work, and I had a talk with him, I said, Ryan, I think you need a little break. We need to figure out what's going on, and yet he needed the hours to keep his insurance through the Art Directors Guild. So it was such a tough thing that he didn't want to stop. So I took him back, but then it got really bad.
Yeah.
To the point where one day I just had to keep him home, which is hard and devastating. You don't want to do that to somebody, but he couldn't do it anymore. Yeah. He could barely walk. He could barely see. He could walk, but he was very wobbly.
Yeah.
And
did he even drive? Was he even allowed to drive?
No, because the seizure.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah, so
that's the hard part right there.
Oh, it was so hard. We had family and friends helping take a load off me because I was going back and forth there 4 times a day, to and from and then to and from again.
Yeah.
And we were living in the suburbs and this was in the city. And my cousin Dave and he was so gracious to help me. We went there and picked up all of Ryan's computer, and Dave is really good with technology. So he was there to kind of help me unplug and wind everything up and bring it home and set it up again and make it like a workspace for Ryan. And they did let him work from home for a little bit, but it got to the point where we had to get him a TV screen for a monitor.
Yeah.
His vision, and then he started getting that crushed vision. He said he'd see cars and they would look like the cars were like an accordion.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So this is someone who uses their hands and their eyes, artist, a graphic designer, a screenwriter. I mean, this is someone who really used their creative skills that couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So I always just tried to make the best possible life for him, but it got so bad over the months. We tried more treatments. We tried things, trials.
Did you wear this hat?
Protocol.
Did you wear this hat called the Optune by any chance?
Yeah, so we did that before it was called Optune. It was called NovoCure.
Okay,
And
so you know what I'm talking about, right?
first.
This thing you have to wear almost like 24 hours a day. Did he shave his head and it was all...
anything about it? Ryan was one of the first patients, and we had a lot to do with it turning into the Optune.
Okay.
Because they flew us to New York to give them our thoughts on it. He had to carry a backpack. It was very heavy. It's a bunch of little, oh gosh, what are they called? Leads that you wear on your head.
Exactly.
Supposedly kind of fight to break up the brain tumor cells dividing and growing.
No, well said.
So it was great. It was a hassle, especially when he was having a hard time. But we went on 2-3 little trips. I took him to Wisconsin Dells. He never got there as a kid, so I took him there as an adult. He loved it. We went back with my mom, and then we went back again with his parents. And made the best of it. And really with the steroids, he was starting to puff up, and that's
Decadron, right? Was he on high doses of Decadron?
High doses of Decadron, and that wears on your leg muscles,
of course,
and everything. So it was everybody who's steroids and think you're getting energy, and you get a huge appetite. This type of steroid, you really lose muscle tone in your legs, and you gain weight, and it can cause pancreatic troubles, which he had pancreatitis twice because of it. He had to be honest with the brain swelling. So by the time, and stop me if I'm jumping ahead, but by the time April came around, it was April 4th. I'm like, I want to do something for his birthday. He's going to be 39. I didn't know if he was going to make it to 40. So we had a huge party for him. Well, like 40 people, as big as we could do last minute.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, he just was so excited about that party. Everybody was singing, and at the end he goes, "Do it again." It was so cool.
I love it.
He always had his positive attitude, but then that week he went for his proton beam radiation, which is a more focalized radiation.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And he fell off the table. His dad called me. I was getting sick. I never missed an appointment, but I missed this appointment.
Yeah.
His dad called me that he fell off the radiation table. I'm like, oh my God. And then the radiologist called me and he said, I think we've exhausted treatments. My heart sank.
Yeah.
Ryan stayed for one night at his parents'. I said, all right, I'm going to pick him up. And then somebody else called me and said, we got to put him on hospice. I said, I can't tell him. You got to tell him. I said, I'm going to bring him in and let the social worker tell him.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to be the one to tell him that. I wanted him to hear it from them, so he could understand it better in the way that they explain it. So he did, and he was a little slow and a little out of it. He just kind of like in a dazed way went, oh, fuck. Mm-hmm. You just heard him swear. Yeah. He was not a big swearer for anyone that knew him. So that was the hardest thing I ever had to do. But we had
how long was hospice for poor Ryan?
They said it would be a month. It was 13 days.
And, I got to tell you, just because my wife, Michelle, one thing I believe in my heart that people like Ryan, my dad, Michelle's dad, they go at their own time. And I know Michelle actually flew from LA. Her dad was in the DC area, and he actually stayed alive, just to see Michelle right before he passed away. And Michelle had to give like the morphine drops to her dad, and I had to do it to my dad. Was it that ending where you're holding Ryan's hand all the way to the end? And did you have to give the morphine and everything like that?
I administered the morphine.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
Roxanol.
They gave me lorazepam.
So sure. Of course, yeah.
And then the suction for the mouth if you got phlegmy, and then the oxygen. So I did everything. I had home. But what I had done was I was looking for someone to help me. Like I know a hospice nurse will come in, but I needed help. So this one friend had kept checking in on us, and it was so sweet. And I said, you know what? Could you be here?
Oh.
I don't know if you have a girlfriend or wife or kids or whatever, but he was his massage therapist. No, I knew he wasn't married. I didn't say that, but I said, I don't know if you have a girlfriend.
I'm sure he wasn't. Yeah.
But he didn't at the time, so he moved in to help us, and we paid him weekly.
That's
just to be there when he could. I said, if you got to go out, do your life, do your thing, but just I need a presence here. And he was the only person that I could get. We had to pay somebody. I was disappointed in that, but I had him, and it was wonderful. He really had a good energy for Ryan that he needed, a very happy and positive energy. So I think that helped me through it.
Yeah.
Helped Ryan through it. But we had friends and family in and out of the house, especially the last few days, 20, 40 people.
Yeah.
People flying in. And now keep in mind, I was with him constantly. I went to every appointment.
Yeah.
The last night, I was so sick from exhaustion.
Of course.
We had our bedroom bed in our living room. We had one of our good friends, this friend Chris, who helped us. I went laid on the couch. It was like a sectional. I was on one end, and our friend was on the other end. And Ryan's mom and dad were there, his brother. We had two friends in from out of town. I said to his mom, I said, do you want to lay next to him for a bit? Because I think I'm going to go lay here. I was getting a little traumatized by the rattly breathing.
Of course. At the end,
and I think I fell asleep like a brick for maybe 3-4 hours. I don't even remember, 5 hours for the first time in months. And then his dad woke me up and said he passed.
Oh, man. Okay.
I was like, I gave his mom full circle, if you look at it that way. So I'm glad she got that. But then I felt so bad. I was like, I wasn't there. I was there, but I wasn't. I was behind him. I was behind him on the couch. I was right there. So that bothered me. But then they say either the people try to hang on and wait for you. That's one way, like you said. And the other thing is sometimes they don't want you to see that at the end. And they don't wait. So I hope that's true. I try to help myself to believe that.
I believe it's true too. I think that he, if I had to piece it together in 1 second, he just probably loves you more than anything. He didn't want to see that part of it, and he wanted you to enjoy he didn't want to wake you up, dude.
Right.
But let me do this, because I just think you're just a nice person. It's easy to talk to, but I want to make sure I want to talk about what really is also just, I love. When did Ryan start talking about having the whole thing about if he passes away, have the baby and the IVF? When was that talk?
Okay, so that's a conversation. I have to start correcting some of the media about that, because really what happened was when he was diagnosed, a couple of days later, the Dr. Keith Black at Cedars-Sinai, said, if you guys want children, and his new oncologist told us this too, before you start treatments, before we do surgery and everything, or no, I don't even think it was before surgery. I think it was after surgery, but before chemo. They said, you're going to have to freeze everything because we don't know what the chemo is going to do.
That's right. Because the chemo he was going to get. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's how the conversation went.
Yeah.
They told us, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, Ryan, you want to do that? He's like, yeah. So we go there to freeze. It's such a uncomfortable process, I'm sure, for him. So he has to freeze, and he's not feeling good, in the midst of battling a brand new brain tumor. So it was the sweetest thing and kind of funny. You know what he said to me? He thought we were freezing for me to use. He didn't think he was going to make it. Oh. This poor guy. I'm like, he's like, this will be nice, for you to be able to have this. I'm like, oh no. He's misunderstanding. I mean, all the craziness and confusion with getting diagnosed and being in the hospital and all this new medication and seizure meds and steroids and you name it. I'm like, that's what he thought. And I'm like, no, honey. I had to correct him. I'm like, this is for us in the future. Oh. This is for us. So that's how I essentially had his blessing. Was originally he thought that's what it was for. Okay. And then we ended up using it several times. We did 4 IUIs during one of his treatment breaks when he had a clinical remission. And then I miscarried. I got pregnant after the 4th IUI.
Yeah.
IVF, I got pregnant. I miscarried. We did IVF again. I got pregnant. I miscarried. That last time I would have been delivering around the time of his wake or funeral.
Wait, hang on. Step back. So during the 9 years he was with you, you were pregnant a bunch of times and you miscarried?
Within 14 months. It was like right after we moved back.
Damn. How do you have you are so smiley and happy. It's like gut punch. It's
I
like,
know.
God damn.
I know. Gut punch after gut punch. And my
Yeah.
ex used to say
You're
to
my
me,
dude, Laura, you're my hero. I gotta tell you that.
thank you.
So hubby has a brain tumor. You think hey, we solved the Rubik's Cube. We're gonna have a baby while you're still alive. Then miscarriage.
Yeah.
And that was 3 of them. Am I saying it correctly?
I had 4 with Ryan and 1 with my ex-boyfriend after Ryan.
Oh
So
my
4
God.
through fertility treatments and 1 natural.
Jeez.
Yeah, and they never found anything wrong with me. They never
You're a
found
nice
anything wrong.
person. You're a
Yeah.
good person. But as we get closer to the end, when we talk about Ryan, was there that emotional talk like, "Hey, you got to do this. Keep on pursuing it," or was that something that you decided you wanted to do after he passed away?
He had already signed off all the papers actually when we finally sat down way back when he first got diagnosed. So he signed off everything that I could use it just in case someday. So that was talked about a long time ago. So we always tried to talk positive. We never talked end of life stuff.
I don't blame you.
Like we were so young when he got diagnosed, we didn't even have life insurance,
Yeah.
So the whole thing was just devastating because I never thought he wouldn't make it. Like he was doing so well and it was just that last year and a half. So it was me after he passed thinking I'll meet someone that wants kids and then I'll be able to have my own.
Yeah.
But that just didn't pan out. I would either get in a relationship with someone that changed their mind or just said they wanted kids.
Yeah.
Or it just didn't work out. So I'm like, some people ask me, and it's the most annoying question is, why did you wait so long? I'm like, read the article.
That just seems like, there's like life skills of how you approach questions, what to ask. That seems like a stupid question to ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially after somebody was widowed and trying to move forward and navigating life alone and trying to find a way to move forward to meet somebody new. And it's really hard after you become widowed, especially young. Like your time was cut short, your hopes and dreams are crushed. And all I wanted was to have a family and obviously my husband back, but that wasn't happening. So I said, if it doesn't happen naturally, well, then more wrenches kept getting thrown in. Mom getting diagnosed.
Her mom. I totally forgot about mom.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Things would just keep happening. And like 3 years in a row, I went to start. I didn't even get to mention this in any of my interviews. I would start the winter of 2021, something would happen. Winter of 2022, I signed up for the insurance to get the fertility stuff. Something would happen. And then finally in 2024, I'm like, I'm doing this in the fall. And then by spring, I was full speed ahead. I'm doing this. This is it. I'm going to be too old. I'm already older, but I'm healthy. I checked out with 3 different gynecologists. my main internist, my doctor, who's amazing. And I was healthy and fine. And they're like, do it. Go for it. Everybody approved. So that's what took so long.
So I want to go back to when you found out that it worked, the IVF. I mean, was there a jump up and down where you're like just raising the roof and setting off fireworks? Or were you just teary-eyed? Like, can you give me a little emotional input of what like?
That's a good question. I was sitting at my desk alone. My mom was in the other room where I take care of her in the living room. So she hangs out there and watches TV all day and I bring her pills and lunch and everything. And I'm in my office. I have a whole office with double doors. And my phone rang and I saw it was that my stomach just drops, like that roller coaster drop.
Yeah.
And then my heart starts racing because I didn't want to get bad news. I only wanted to get good news. So
you deserve good news, man. You deserve
my gosh, right? I'm like, this is enough. I'm like, injections and money. My God, the money, the cost. Holy cow. So when she said, she sounded upbeat. And I'm like, oh, they probably do that for all calls like this. And then she told me that you have a positive pregnancy test. And I just, oh my God, I started crying and I just sat there kind of frozen in shock at my little desk, just like, I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. So, my mom wasn't home that day.
Okay.
She was in rehab from a hospital stint. So she was
Why
in
not?
a rehab hospital getting
Exactly.
stronger. So I had to scramble together. I wanted her to be the first I told. So I had to scramble together like something. I'm like, I just want to get there fast. And I'm like, I want to tell my mother-in-law too, Ryan's mom.
Yeah.
Well,
Are you guys still ultra tight? Is she super involved in your life? That's
She's
cool,
super
man.
excited. Yeah.
That's cool.
So, no, it's been great. So, I ran to Walgreens and I'm like, I was looking for a balloon. So I'm like, they had a balloon at Walgreens. So I took a balloon and then a Trader Joe's bag, and I stuffed the balloon in there, hoping that when my mom opened it, it would float out. That didn't work. So when I brought it to her, I had the lady at the acute therapy place kind of videoing for me. And my mom's looking at it and she's trying to pull it out. It was stuck. And she's like, what's this? She didn't get it. And I'm like, what do you think? And I have it all. It's on one of my little video episodes that I've been doing. And she's like, you're pregnant. She started crying right away. She was so excited.
So let me ask you a stupid question. So does anyone know the gender yet? Is it a dude or a dudette?
No, that's not a bad question at all.
Okay.
So two of my friends know. Two of my best girlfriends know. I gave them the login. Mm-hmm. And in 2 weeks, my closest two of my best friends are having a very small with 50 people at my house, closest family and friends, a gender reveal party.
Yes, dude, don't set anything on fire. I've seen some of these YouTube gender reveals, dude. Be careful, man.
It could be dangerous.
I have 3 kids. I don't know what I want to wish you. You know what I mean? I tell you, my youngest is Sadie. She's a girl, and I just love girls. They're so cuddly and just awesome. But then they grow up, and then they give you a handful. My oldest is 12, and she's given me a lot of she's made me learn patience now. You know what I mean? So I don't know what to wish you. So is there do you kind of hope for one or the other a little bit?
No, I think because of what I've been through, I am happy with healthy no matter what it is. You know? A girl, a boy, a puppy, whatever. I'm so happy with I'm kidding, but I'm so happy. I'll be so happy with whatever it is. So I'm wearing both colors to the gender reveal. I bought a pink and blue dress, and then friends and family are supposed to wear whatever color they're predicting.
Dude, hey, I'll give you my cell. Send me a pic. I wanted to see I want to see that. I want to see that. Let me ask two more questions. One is that I love that you're an actress and you're on TV and all this stuff. You know what I mean? And there was a very small period of time where I had my moment where I got to be on TV, and I loved it. So how's it now? Do you miss it? Do you want to go do it again? Do you like being on set? You know what I mean?
I still do it. And I miss doing it full time though, but I still do it. And
what are you doing, man? I want to be nosy. Are you doing like a new show I don't know about? Are you doing what's going on?
Yeah, I have a few things. I have a movie that's supposed to film in the fall. I've been attached to that for 5 years. And then I'm not allowed to release any details. But then I produced a TV show and created a TV show for my client, with my client.
Okay.
And I wrote it, produced it, directed it. And we just signed a development deal with the Faith Channel to help shop it, to find us a home for it.
Yeah.
So they're helping to find us a home, and it's called Meet the Schultz, and we just released the social media pages and then the sizzle reel just to give people a taste of what it is. So I'm doing a lot at once. I'm caregiving, PR business, acting, and producing.
Yeah, and let me just kind of top that off with how we met was because you were introduced as the PR person. You know what I mean? So I just thought that you were just this awesome, cool PR person. But then when I read your bio, I'm like, oh, you're an actress, and your whole medical story of what you've been through, which you talked about. How did the PR business come into this? I mean, that doesn't seem like that has anything to do with being a cool caregiver and like being an awesome, beautiful actress. Why this PR company?
Yeah, so I had been kind of doing PR publicity stuff for myself, for my own career.
Okay.
And then I went back into acting shortly after Ryan passed away so I could work again. And because I took off to take care of him that last year of his life. And I'd fly back to LA for commercial, or what did I do? I think I flew to New Orleans to do a movie. I did stuff here in Chicago, and it just wasn't the same busyness and momentum that I had when I was in LA.
Yeah.
And I got a little nervous. How am I going to do this by myself again? I mean, I was a working actress and model.
Yeah.
And voiceover, I did everything. And a friend of mine reached out to me. He's like, hey, would you want to do some PR for my band? And he was a famous influencer.
Okay.
Alfonso Rachel goes by Zoe. And he also has a band called 20 Pound Sledge. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be coming up in my 10th year of my business. So he is responsible, I feel, for my career. So I started doing PR stuff for him, and then it snowballed into other people seeing what I was doing, and then more people hiring me. So I officiated the business, and it parlays a little bit into the acting side because I'm helping people build publicity for themselves. And it's not all entertainment. It could be, we have authors too and things like that, or businesses, but that's how that happened.
Well, let me ask this, because, the hardest part about doing something in the biz in front of people, is you always have to be, quote, on, no matter what's going on in your personal life. When I'm Dr. Raj in the hospital, no one cares what happens to me at home when I do the podcast. It's always, you have to be a little bit on. How was it during, those super rough 9 years with Mom, Ryan, all the stuff going on? How do you become on when you're in front of the camera? How do you do it?
Well, it's been 18 years of caregiving, because Ryan was diagnosed in 2007, and then Mom moved in with me in 2022. So that began, she got worse with her MS after Ryan passed away, 7 years after he passed away, 7 years after he passed. So I think you have to juggle your life, and the busyness is always going to be there. You just got to hope you have the energy for it. I'm blessed that I do. Some days I'm exhausted mentally, physically, and I've just about had it. And I have bad days too. Don't get me wrong. I've had really bad days. But I think it's just balance and making time for things and trying to stay positive, whether it's listening to music or watching something funny before you go to bed, or surrounding yourself with friends and staying busy, having things to look forward to.
Yes.
With caregiving is so important. So it's getting your loved one out that you care for. I get her out a lot, but then I also do a lot of things in the evenings, and we hire someone to come and stay with her so I can get out.
Nice. No, I think that's so important. Last question, because I just enjoy talking. I'm just making more and more questions up. So my last question is going to be, what do you hope others, everyone listening to this podcast, will take away from your story?
Thank you for asking. I think I want people to not give up when times are rough. I want them to see that it can be done. We're all different. We all have different lifestyles, and some people have it harder than others, and vice versa. But I think just finding the positive and not giving up and keep moving forward. You got things to do, things get crazy, write it down, make a list, rest, balance life, make time for yourself, make time for fun things. You get wrapped up in the negative and the tough things and the illness, and you forget to enjoy life.
I got to tell you, as I wrap this up, that, we're only using the audio, it's not the video, but you are beautiful on the outside. You're beautiful on the inside. And I love your story. And we have so much in common. And I hope everyone takes the time to listen to this podcast, because you're just honest. And I did not even ask any of the questions I was going to ask, because you're so easy to talk to. And I hope we stay in contact in the future, Thank
you so much. I appreciate you. I had a great time talking with you as well. And I am so grateful for you allowing me to share my story. And it was wonderful talking with you. I love your personality, and I love your show.
Oh, you're the best, dude. Everyone, I hope you love Laura. I love her, and wish her all the best with this upcoming month. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Dr. Raj podcast, and stay tuned. Another episode will be coming out shortly.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Dr. Raj podcast. If you enjoy the show, then please make sure to follow us on your favorite podcast app and leave a rating while you're there. This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. This has been a production of MedPrep2Go, and you can learn more at medprep2go.com.